Welcome back into the NFL Every Game on the Board podcast with our closer, next handicapper up, Tony Mejia. Follow him on Twitter at Mejia Dinero. That is his last name, Mejia, and the word dinero, which is money in Spanish. Tony, welcome in. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. Ecstatic that college basketball's back. Not too happy that Butler is letting Western Michigan hang around, but it's early. And I am rooting for College of Charleston to hang around with North Carolina. So games galore, man. And it's great in the environment that we've had in 2020 to actually be able to have this as we head into a big holiday. How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Tony. I mean, it's kickoff tip-off of college basketball today as we're watching live or doing this live here on November 25th, Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I'm doing good, man, breaking down every single American football game on the podcast throughout the day, and interested to get your opinion on the back half here, but I'm with you. Excited college basketball is starting, although I'm sitting in my apartment here in Las Vegas, Nevada, enjoying the nice weather here, Tony, but it looks like you are in the sports book.
It looks like it. It looks like it. I actually, this is, I believe, the new Circa, and I haven't been there yet, but I understand that you have, and I can't wait to get out there. Last time I was out in Vegas was in August to sign up for the Super Contest, and it was obviously a shell of itself. I did see that it's still 25% capacity at restaurants. So Florida, a little more of a more liberal approach to going out and stuff from our governor. So bars are open and all of that, but I'm staying out of them for the most part.
Tony, it's funny you put it that way, man, because I'm doing most of I'm from Florida, and Las Vegas is where I'm living. And it's funny that you say, a little bit more liberal, because those two governors have about as opposite opinion on how to handle this as you can get. Talking about Nevada and Sisolak, and the Florida governor, I don't know, his name's escaping me, but he's pretty much pedal to the metal down there. No rules, right?
No rules, and liberal is not a good term for him. He's Ron DeSantis, but liberal is a good term for how he's handling the pandemic. And again, different philosophies and whatnot, but we're gearing up for the holiday, and again, very happy that we'll at least have two of the three NFL games we have scheduled, and again, we have college basketball back, NBA on the horizon, and sports are back in our lives.
Yeah, sports are back, and that's what counts. And guys, we'll get into the games with the reason you clicked on the link here: 263-264, the LA Chargers at the Buffalo Bills. We got Buffalo -5.5 at home here, Tony. 53.5 being the total.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the Chargers have done a really nice job of bringing Justin Herbert along. Obviously the season I thought was lost for them when Derwin James went out, and we all got to see it on Hard Knocks as the season began. That apparently they're cursed and they lose close games and they really struggle to finish. But again, Herbert's been an excellent rookie and the saving grace for a tough season. We'll see what happens in this game. Line is a little lighter than I would have expected, especially with so many key Chargers questionable. Melvin Ingram, the defensive end, Casey Hayward, one of their better cornerbacks, although he hasn't had a good year in that secondary. Losing James early and losing some key pieces has also been vulnerable. And Kellen Ballage, who's been a productive running back of late, also questionable with an ankle injury.
Tony, next game up in the AFC East, we got 265, 266, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific kick here. Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets, 44.5 being the total, with the Dolphins road favorites in this one. Pretty much a full touchdown across the board, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Sam Darnold isn't back, I think we've seen Joe Flacco's best game already with his Monday Night Football performance against the Patriots. The Dolphins defense can really get after you. I think Kyle Van Noy is going to play. He's a key linebacker in the way he gets after people. Tua limited practice as well, but you expect him to be out there. So no Fitzmagic unless they call upon him. But the Dolphins should be favored, should bounce back. Really tough loss they took in Denver. I was counting on them to win that game, and they from the moment that game started, you saw trouble. They forced an early turnover into it, gave it right back. There was a penalty. They got into the end zone, but really never. They'll look to reestablish that because they want to be a playoff team this year.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the Dolphins and what they pulled Tua, right? It wasn't an injury of any sort to put in Fitzmagic for a spark, right, Tony?
Correct. Yeah, he was just really out of sorts with pressure, not reading his reads right, but he is nursing a thumb injury, which is why he's listed as questionable. Limited practice on Wednesday, according to reports down there from my boy Joe Shad at the Palm Beach Post, former roommate of mine, believe it or not.
Joe Shad, the guy that used to work at ESPN?
Nope, absolutely. I was at CBS and he was at the Sun Sentinel, I think, back then. So but he's been in South Florida for a long time, and we lived together for a year, I believe.
Okay, and he was a reporter, a college football reporter, I believe, for ESPN for a while.
Absolutely, right? I was living with him when he got the call to get that gig, and he deserved it. He's a real hard worker.
Cool. Well, we got Miami, New York Jets in the books. We got next game up here, 267, 268. As we move on to the 4:00 Eastern, 1:00 Pacific kicks here. New Orleans at the Denver Broncos. Talking about the Broncos off the win at home against the Dolphins. Now they're hosting the Saints. Saints minus 6-point road favorites, 43.5 being the total, a mile high, Tony.
Yeah, look, Taysom Hill looked great. So now we have to look for consistency from him to become believers. And it's interesting because the Broncos got a lot of pressure onto Tagovailoa, and they're going to look to do the same from Taysom Hill, but he's a different kind of quarterback. And that was another thing about Tua is he didn't look to run. Maybe he was also dealing with a foot injury, the word that I got, but Taysom Hill is completely healthy. Alvin Kamara with a foot issue here, Michael Thomas with an ankle issue, both listed as questionable, but probably will play. And the Saints have to take care of business here. I didn't see any problems with the line. You expect a team that has really stepped up on the defensive end to continue to do so and bother Drew Lock.
Tony, next game up as we head out west, we got San Francisco 49ers at the LA Rams, 269, 270, the rotation numbers, 45 being the total with the Rams, minus 6 in the hook or minus 7, mostly 6 in the hooks out there, but it's a good one to shop around, guys.
And, we just saw the Rams on Monday night with an impressive win for the most part. Jared Goff tried to give it away a couple of times, but he also, set a record, I think, for completions, personal best at least, and really got going with Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, who should continue to move that offense. And San Francisco, really a shell of itself from last year's Super Bowl form. Injuries have decimated that group, all across the board. We'll see what happens with Brandon Ayuk, who is on the IR reserve due to COVID-19. I don't think he's going to play, and that takes another weapon. He was actually stepping up, but they've already lost Deebo Samuel. That running back carousel has been an issue, and no offensive continuity. This is a game that the Rams need to put in the win column despite the short week, just to continue their positive momentum.
And next game up, 4:25 Eastern kick here, Tony, 271, 272, Kansas City at Tampa Bay. We're seeing the Chiefs, minus 3 in the hook, road favorites, 56 the total in Raymond James.
Yeah, and that'll be fun to see what Patrick Mahomes can do against a Bucs secondary that is the most vulnerable part of that group. I think it's hard to run on the Bucs because their linebackers are so fast. So from that standpoint, I think we'll see Patrick Mahomes have a big day, featuring Kelsey the way he does, featuring Tyreek Hill, and then can Tom Brady keep up? Obviously, the pressure is ramped up on him. The golden boy, the GOAT, now in a lot of trouble in terms of feeling the heat for a mediocre last few games, and Tampa Bay going from a team that everybody was starting to tab as a Super Bowl favorite in the NFC to one that needs to get it going to make sure that they are in the playoffs this season.
And he's Tony Mejia on Twitter at Mejia Dinero. That's dinero as in money, as in Spanish. And Tony, you speak Spanish fluently, correct?
Correcto.
Correcto.
With the double R's too.
See. 5-2 all time on 5% plays, 17-5 run on free plays, guys. He's got a free play up in college basketball, Nicholls State versus UC Davis. That's going tonight, the late slate, right?
Right. That'll be part of the late slate. Also, like a big play in that Villanova BC game that tips after Arizona State against Rhode Island, which is a really interesting matchup between Remy Martin, Fats Russell, two of the best names in college basketball, two of the best guards as well. So that'll be fun to see. Fun to have college basketball back, but still football. This is a football show, and football the main course until Super Bowl, as everybody knows.
Absolutely. And guys, you can read the analysis here at wagertalk.com on Tony's expert page here. He's got it all written up for the college basketball free play between Nicholls State versus UC Davis, kind of a degenerate special of sorts, 10 p.m. Eastern tip off there. College football run very well here at wagertalk.com, and also soccer plays 17-8. So he's doing a bunch of sports here, guys. Check him out. 3-day. Also 1 year all access. And remember the coupon code BF999. That is BF is in Black Friday. BF999 taking $1,000 off his 1 year all access. Tony, I see you got soccer plays up here. Have you ever done a gambling show of any sort, sports gambling show in Spanish?
I have not. And the vernacular there is interesting because there's the way that I have come up with sports is English only. I watch Spanish. Like if there's a game on ESPN Deportes and ESPN, say the MLS game last night, for soccer, I'll pick Spanish for sure, 100% of the time. Every other sport, give me English, give me that version, because the translations are often so off that for me to do a show specifically in Spanish, I'm going to go, it'll sound like Spanglish, because I'm going to go with terms, tackles will be tackles instead of the term that's used. It's just the way my brain works. So, but yeah, I speak Spanish fluently, but sports, English preferred.
Yeah, Tony, it's so funny you say that. When I lived down in Costa Rica, everybody would say the same thing. They were like, yeah, I don't like listening to football in Spanish because it'd be like, vamos a la pelota y Tom Brady. And then it could go back, and it's like, it just sounds really weird to listen to football. Baseball and soccer, I would think are better in Spanish. Like you said, soccer, but baseball, even you like the English version better.
Yeah, definitely. It's a home run or a quadrangular every day.
All right. Well, we got the Sunday night game up next, and then the Monday nighter to finish it off, guys. The NFL Every Game on the Board podcast each and every Wednesday right here, simulcast live on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. We got Chicago at Green Bay up next here, Tony. Looks like the Green Bay Packers -8 in the hook, home favorites here, 45 the total in the Sunday nighter.
Man, I got to say that I am not ready for this one just because we might have weather there. And that's going to, I haven't checked. Normally I check weather for every game, and I don't think it's a factor for most of the games we've talked about. For this one, it might be. You look to, if you're Green Bay, you obviously suffered a really disappointing loss. They had the Colts on the ropes. It would have been a quality win. Won the coin toss in overtime. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers was going to give up that ball. He finds Valdez-Scantling for what would have been a first down. And, Valdez-Scantling was really loose with the football, got it knocked out of his hands. Colts recover. Colts win that game. So I expect the Packers to win. This is a great bounce back spot for them. But if weather is a factor, Devontae Adams isn't going to be as dominant as he has been over the past few weeks. And that gives the Bears potentially a shot. If it's a mild day in Green Bay, or mild night, I should say, then I really like the Packers. Obviously, the Bears struggle to score by themselves in their practice facility. So, we'll see what happens there.
Good stuff, Tony. We got one game left here, guys, to finish off the NFL Every Game on the Board podcast. To listen to the first section of it with Ski Profit. We just did that right before this, so check it out on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, the NFL Every Game on the Board Part 1. This is Part 2 with our closer, Tony Mejia, in the Monday Nighter here, 275-276, Seattle at Philadelphia. Tony, we got the Seahawks, -5, road favorites, 50 being the total.
Hey, we'll try to finish this off like a younger Aldous Chapman as opposed to last year's version who blew games. And I know the weather on this, because we talked about this in our video, it's going to be awful in Philadelphia on Monday night if weather reports are accurate. 22 degrees on the field. It's going to be a freezing cold rain and 22 mile per hour wind gusts. Easy number to remember, obviously. So with Carson Wentz being as flippant with the football as he has been, that's really going to cause problems against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Seahawks defense hasn't been much all season, giving up all those terrible yardage numbers and lots of points. But they do have Jamal Adams back. Have Carlos Dunlap, the acquisition from Cincinnati, being a factor. They'll have Shaquille Griffin back. So I thought that number was a little light, and I'm going to be all over the Seahawks. That's my best bet.
He's Tony Mejia, 91-60 on a huge run in college football, doing well in soccer as well. And the free plays, guys, he's got one in college basketball tonight. But to go on record here, Tony, it is the Monday Night Football, your best bet for this section?
It is. I can't imagine it's going to go any lower than 5, but I don't lock games in that early. So we'll see what happens on Sunday night, Monday morning with what number I get. But yeah, right now, if you're a bettor that wants to get the best number, you're going to want to go in on Seattle. That's my best bet. But yeah, it's a long time away. You might want to tie up your bankroll. Might not want to tie up your bankroll with it. But again, if you're willing to wait out the weekend and just zoom in on one game, it's Seattle beating Philadelphia.
Like in the Seahawks, minus the points in the Monday Night Football. Tony Mejia, first time on the Every Game on the Board podcast. Gracias, amigo. Anything you wanted to throw out there before we shut this down?
Muy amable, Drew. We're in for a holiday weekend, lots of sports. I'm going to be active all weekend with lots of picks. So come follow me at WagerTalk. Thrilled to be here and really enjoy talking to you and talking sports with you. So hopefully first time, but not the last time.
Yeah, no, won't be the last time. Good stuff from Tony Mejia. Follow him on Twitter at Mejia Dinero. Check out his work, WagerTalk.com. He's got the free play up there, guys. So check it out at the website. Please smash the like button if you're liking the content. Huge shout out to the chat box, Mr. LaRusso, Davey Jones, Snoop TV, Scott Brown, all you guys. Welcome in. Thanks for chiming in the chat box, guys. We'll be right back with Jeff from Oskheim Sports to finish off the college football every